Welcome to this episode of our program Daily Debate. As usual, we will be discussing an important debate. Today is the daily debate and the daily event, and under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, this beautiful conference, or rather exhibition, was held, Our Heritage for Handicraft and Heritage. This is an exhibition that has been performed, or rather that has been played for 4 years, consecutive years. This is the 4th exact years, which send a clear message of the importance the political leadership is giving to the micro and small enterprises, and definitely of how the concerned authorities would be supporting them financially, technically, marketing the services of these projects, and more. Many of the Arab countries are participating in this exhibition, which also indicates another importance given to this exhibition, that of strengthening the Arab relations, particularly from the cultural point of view and side. We will be speaking about this. We will be speaking about our heritage, but also the great importance the leadership is giving to supporting the micro and small enterprises, and definitely the SMEs at large. We'll be speaking about that with our distinguished guest, Dr. Zainab Nawar, Professor of Economics. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Before we delve into our discussion, let me first take a quick look on the top stories of the day. And President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting on Sunday with heads of Strategic Command and Military Industrialization, the Armed Forces Operations Authority, the Military Armament Authority, and the acting head of the Military Intelligence, as well as the heads of the Military Signal Corps and the Armed Forces IT departments. The meeting reviewed the progress of the Unified National Network for Emergency and Public Safety. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassem Radi said President Sisi gave directives to all institutions for the full utilization of the network and for state bodies to deal swiftly with any emergency calls. The President reiterated that the national network of the emergency and safety must integrate with developmental and service projects in the country to allow it to become the basic mechanism to protect public and private properties as well as state assets. And moving on to our next top story of the day, and Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli inaugurated on Sunday the Turathna, or Our Heritage, exhibition organized by the Medium, Small and Macro Business Development Authority. The exhibition, under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, runs from October 9th till the 15th, with hundreds of exhibitors, artists and craftsmen showcasing their products. The Project Developing Authority is providing free air-conditioned buses to transfer visitors to and from the exhibition venue at main squares in Cairo throughout the day. The exhibition, in its 4th version, is being held in the Egyptian Center for International Exhibitions at the Cairo's 5th settlements. Right, welcome back. And before we move on with our discussion, let's first have this quick report. And President Sisi orders completing steps in Our Heritage exhibition nationwide. Let's watch.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi ordered completing steps taken in different rounds of Turathna, or our heritage exhibition, to ensure a wider participation from all parts of the country, especially border governorates. The organization of a series of Turathna exhibitions showing traditional products and handcrafts is mainly contributing to consolidating and entrenching national identity, micro, small, and medium enterprises development. The Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Development Agency carried out about 200,000 projects and provided hundreds of thousands of job opportunities in all development sectors during the period between January 2021 and March 2022. The agency is as well participating in several national initiatives and development programs, including Decent Life Presidential Initiative. The exhibition, Turathna, targets providing all means of support for traditional and cultural heritage industries and the handcrafts sector, and to make their products available at commercial prices. Our heritage exhibition for handicrafts and heritage, held from the 9th until the 15th of October, is organized for the fourth year in a row, sends a direct message that reflects the state's interest in MSME's sector and keenness to combine efforts of the concerned authorities in the country to provide various aspects of financial support, technical and marketing services for these projects. Also holding the Our Heritage exhibition annually aims at supporting the crafts and heritage products sector, promoting Egyptian ancient artistic heritage and consolidating everything that expresses the Egyptian identity, as well as encouraging all workers in craft heritage and artistic projects, which is reflected in the development and dissemination of their products more locally and globally. The exhibition is a great forum for creators, craftsmen, and artists from various Arab countries, where they are keen every year to participate in pavilions that illustrate their artistic and cultural heritage, and this year will witness a distinguished participation from many brotherly Arab countries.
Welcome back, and to you, Dr. Zainab, and Our Heritage.
Yes.
Before I go on with explaining Our Heritage, this beautiful exhibition in its fourth edition this year, let me hear take from you your reading, or how did you see preparations that were made, facilities that were presented for people to facilitate their entrance and all this?
Heritage, our heritage is one of the most and what we can say famous gathering of all of those concerned with the handmade production in Egypt. Bringing all together from different governorates, from different villages around all of the, what we can say, government of Egypt. We are collecting all of those who are working in the handmade from different places. We are collecting all the scales, all the scopes, different types, a lot of products, a lot of what we can say heritage, a lot of arts, a lot of beautiful products. So you can imagine the amount of effort for the preparation of this big exhibition. Of course, if we start to say about the transportation means and all of this, this entails a huge effort to gather all of these into one exhibition and to organize them, and also to facilitate all the type and all the transportation means from different parts, from Cairo, maybe from Giza, to come to this big exhibition. So I cannot, I cannot imagine, and at the same time, when I just asking a lot of my friends who are working in this handmade work, some of them, they told me to what extent that the authority that is responsible about the preparation of this exhibition, they do a lot of effort. They're trying to encourage them to come. And even those who are working in the handicraft work themselves, they are trying to also to look for every single opportunity throughout this exhibition. So It gave us a lot of proud that we do have this big exhibition here in Cairo. It gave us a lot of proud that we are, or all of those who are working on this handicraft work, they are gathered in one place to represent and to produce to us the Egyptian true heritage. So you can imagine the amount
The
of
Egyptian
effort.
entity, you mean?
Yes,
Yes.
the Egyptian identity. This handicraft work, it's not about products and then you just sell it and that's it. It is our identity, it is our civilization, it is our heritage, it is our skills coming from different parts from Egypt. So you have to respect that, you have to love that, and you have also to encourage those who are working in this type of small industry. And I'm just saying it's a small industry. So a lot of effort behind the scene for this big exhibition.
Having said that, then we have to speak here about this, our heritage exhibition, and the kind of support the government gives to the crafts and the heritage product sector, plus also all the facilities it gives to them in order to prepare for such a huge exhibition as such, and presented not just to Egypt but also to the Arab nations, region, and the whole world.
Yes, bringing them in one place, one big place, just to sell the products, this is a way to encourage them to market for their products, to have a lot of connections between each other, and even connections with brokers and those who are coming from different parts from Egypt or even different parts from the world. Just they are coming to buy these products, to enjoy even the scene of these products. It's an exhibition. You are going to this exhibition to buy some products and also to enjoy and to see to what extent this arts is very great, and also it reflects what we are truly are. So it's some sort of scene of arts. So once the government is trying to gather all of them in one place and doing the proper marketing for the exhibition, of course this is a big support for them, because they are going to sell in this type of exhibitions. In addition to, also the government is doing other exhibitions in different governorates in Egypt, and this is also another means to encourage them, because those who are working the handmade work, they are just waiting for these types of exhibitions and these types of events to sell their products. So you are supporting them to sell the products and also to see what other nationalities see and what they do want from us. If you want to work on a certain industry, especially what is related to the heritage and this type of handmade, sometimes you, throughout these exhibitions and events, if I'm handmade, if I'm a woman, I'm just working on a handmade product, for example. If I went to a certain event, then I met someone who's coming from Germany or someone is coming from the US, so I will know what each of these nationalities would like in the type of product that I'm presenting. So I may improve the work that I do, and this will be the first step for me to market for my product and even to go outside Egypt, which is very important. So the exhibitions help them to sell their products inside Egypt, and also helps them to know what other taste of different nationalities, what different colors that they do like. So this will help them to sell even outside Egypt. So
and that's another issue.
A lot of benefits for those who are working this
yes,
in the
and that's yes, indeed. It helps them promote and propagate for their products locally, and to know the taste of the other
nationalities, German,
in terms of foreign or Arab or whatsoever taste. How does the government help promote and propagate such an exhibition and such a sector and products globally?
Through the exhibitions and through marketing of these exhibitions, so through the marketing that the government is doing to the exhibition itself, so this is part of it, would be a global effort. But we're still lacking behind in this. There is a lot of demand on the Egyptian made. There is a lot of demand on the handmade products. But unfortunately, till now, globally, There is no sufficient linkage. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yes,
This is
you
the
know,
missing point that we do have.
You know why I'm speaking and pinpointing on this? Because the president and the political leadership at large has been calling very much into increasing our experts.
Yes.
And handicrafts of could be part of our or the most demanded
Yes.
products outside, or one of the most, of course, definitely. So this is why I'm speaking, or I was pointing my finger on this
On this
particular.
one.
Yes.
There are some exhibitions also that the government is doing outside Egypt for different countries worldwide. This is also to encourage those who are working the handicraft to produce also their products outside Egypt. But we still need more. I do have a lot of friends calling me from different countries of the world. They are asking for a handmade work from Egypt. I have a friend calling me every once in a while, and then I said to him, okay, I will just give you the number of person X. You can call him and see. So what I got from this type of conversations, this continuous conversation, that there still we have a lot of demand. And yes, there are efforts and there are exhibitions that we go outside, but still there are a lot of demands are not covered.
Indeed. Indeed.
So we need to exert more effort outside the borders of Egypt. Still we are lacking in this area. Still we need to know exactly what is the demand, and we have to move to it forward. We have to know what is the taste, and we have to work according to what they do like. I met one of the Bedouin women, Selima Al-Gabali. Selima, she's one of my old friends, and she told me when I met her last year in the exhibition. And then she told me, look, these bags, the German likes these bags. Why, Selima? She's telling me, no, this is the taste of the German. They like these dark colors. If you are just looking for working with the Africans, for example, or for the, with the US, which part of the US you would like to sell? Selima acquired this type of information and knowledge from her visits outside Egypt. So she started to know what type of taste each country likes about our products.
She is Bedouin, so she developed her knowledge about what foreigners would like from the visiting foreigners or from tourists who came to her to buy things. And
part of it from the tourists themselves, and part of it from her travels in different exhibitions.
That's beautiful.
That what the government encouraged her to travel outside. So the more that we encourage them to go outside in different exhibitions, the more that truly we are guaranteeing part of selling part of their products. But currently, for the time being, you know that we have an international and worldwide crisis, so there is no guarantee that we can move them outside the borders. So for the government must look to different tools and techniques to grasp and to know where the demand where the demand is, and to go to this demand and to market for it.
How about, I mean, here that we have, we've known and learned here that there are many of the Arab brotherly countries participating in this exhibition with their own products, or they exist there. More than 104 exhibitors are there, and part of them are Arabs. How about holding, or the idea of holding such an exhibition once in Egypt, the next time in another Arab country, also with this slogan, our heritage?
Yes.
Just moving on, how do you view such an idea? How do you view the Arabs grasping this kind of interaction, cultural interaction, from, of course, the cultural side and from the economic part as well?
This is a great idea to have our heritage once here, this year in Egypt, maybe the coming year in Saudi Arabia, maybe in Emirates later on. For the Arab to grasp the benefit from what we are doing, of course, it's another window that they are going to sell. For those who are working on this type of handmade product, to sell the products, and also for us as Egyptians to know the type of heritage and to know the type of products. And at the same time, when we are saying that we will have our heritage next year in Saudi Arabia, for example, so it will be another benefit for the Egyptian manufacturers to go to Saudi Arabia, to go to different Arab countries, to sell the product there. So we will have like a win-win gain for those who are working in the Arab heritage to come to us, and even we will support them, and also for the Egyptians who are working on the handmade work to sell the products there. So it will be like a win-win gain for both of us. The first market you have to think of is to sell to the Arab countries. If we are going to talk about the handmade work, our first place to think to sell to are the Arab countries, and this is one of the main themes that most of the workers of the handicraft in Egypt are doing. So eventually they are doing that. So by encouraging them to go to different Arab countries, so you are just opening to them different markets. And for the Arabs also to come to our market, so we are opening to them a new market, which is Egypt. So it will be a lot of benefits, a lot of what we can say that a lot of exchanging of experiences, because when you are gathering all of them in one place, and even you are moving them to different places, you are just adding to their experiences, you are adding to their knowledge, and this is the required thing that you have to do as a government, to add to those, to support them, to see what the type of knowledge that they do need, what the type of experience that they would need. All of these type of software skills will enhance their work, and of course will enhance their ability to export outside the Egyptian borders.
Here, this exhibition starts on October 9th, today, and lasts until the 15th of October. This is almost 1 week. It also brings together 1,000, actually, not just 104, but 1,116 exhibitors from Egypt's, of course, different governorates across Egypt, and also exhibitors from from different other Arab states. How or such a sector and the support the government is giving for, what type of business are we speaking about here? Why is it important for those exhibitors to showcase their work? How will that help or show the keenness of the government to support entrepreneurs, particularly those, because we're speaking here about the micro
yes,
business.
this type of small type of business.
Yes.
The characteristics of this business is being small eventually, but this doesn't mean that this small business will not grow. No, it may grow in future.
Definitely.
No problem in that. But it should start small. It should start with a tiny type of production. But again, the arts and heritage are there in this type of production, and then we grow eventually by time. Once again, the government is doing a good effort in supporting those who are working in this sector. Why we are saying that this sector is important? Because we are in Egypt, we are having a plenty of them, a plenty of workers in this type of work. It creates jobs to a lot. And also it helps to prevent the poverty. If you are saying that we are going into a certain village where we have a group of women and they are poor and they are needy. So if you have an example of one woman who will be able to gather all of these poor women and to work on a certain type of handmade products, we have an excellent examples, and we have very good examples. We have Salim Al-Gabali in Sinai, creating a huge opportunities of jobs for women who are living on mountains in Sinai. So this is very important key person we have to focus on and we have to support, because it creates jobs to those women that sometimes as a government and we as a community, we don't see them.
Yes.
But she sees them and she knows how to deal with them. You have also a very famous example in El Fayoum, where she's creating this type also of handcraft work. I went to her, her name is Kamla. I went to her home in one of the villages of El Fayoum, where you will find maybe about 20, 30, 40 women are staying there, are working on certain work of the handmade work. So if you are just seeing all of these spots, all of these key persons along different areas and different parts of Egypt, so you can imagine to what extent these women are, what we can say, creating a number of jobs, preventing all of these women from being in poverty. And we have to put thousands of lines under the word poverty. Poverty means a lot. Poverty,
Yes,
they don't have
definitely.
income, they don't have the proper food, they don't have a good income to go to the doctor, so maybe they will have health problems, education to their children. So the government should encourage this sector and to put a lot of effort because of what this sector is creating in terms of added value to a lot and a number of Egyptians in different parts in Egypt, number one. Number two, there is a demand on the Egyptian handmade work, but again, once again, we have a leakage. There is a big gap, and we still have it till now to bring this global demand into our lands. And this is what the government should work on this under any circumstances. There is a huge work that needed to be done in this place and this area. Number three, the arts and heritage, and what you had just said, the national identity. This product, this piece of product, it represents us. This even handmade ring, it represents us as Egyptians. It represents heritage, it represents an idea, it represents effort and arts. So we have to encourage these true arts because it creates also a lot to us as Egyptians related to our identity and related to our civilization.
Plus, it gives job opportunities for enormous number of people who will not do but just work with their own hands.
Yes?
And it doesn't need much to do with that. Plus, it gives them work.
Yes, yes, yes.
Help me help you, right?
Yes.
Before we move on with our discussion, let's have this second report in. Government is keen on developing the SMEs and supporting small enterprises. Let's watch.
Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat discussed with representatives of the Egyptian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, MSMEDA, ways to strengthen support of MSMEDA's activities through development funds in order to increase job opportunities and enhance the standard of living for people. Al-Mashat expressed the importance of focusing on micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, for the growth of the economy, paving the way for businesses to become more sustainable and competitive. Discussing the third principle of economic diplomacy, Al-Mashat said that the Ministry of International Cooperation Global Partnerships narrative that puts people at the core through projects in action with the purpose as the driver is the line with supporting MSMEs by dedicating resources to achieve partnerships with the sustainability targets as key drivers to generate inclusive growth. Al-Mashat also added that the Ministry of International Cooperation is committed to securing development financing through international partnerships with multilateral and bilateral development partners that are dedicated to supporting MSMEs. In 2020, the Ministry of International Cooperation secured $3.2 billion through direct financing to private sector companies as well as credit lines to commercial banks for the financing of SMEs. Also, for MSMEs, the ministry secured a total development financing worth $457 million through multilateral and bilateral cooperation for state sectors. This in addition to the $200 million Saudi grant through the Saudi Fund for Development, SFD, which has contributed to financing over 2,500 projects across sectors in 27 governorates, providing more than 12,000 job opportunities and promoting the implementation of the SDGs. In the last 7 years, MSMEDA has pumped 36 billion Egyptian pounds into MSMEs that financed over 1.4 million MSMEs, in addition to labor-intensive infrastructure projects. MSMEDA is also currently seeking to establish an electronic link as per a protocol recently signed with the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, with all the government entities that are concerned with development projects to create better access for citizens. Cooperation with development partners takes place via the Ministry of International Cooperation within the framework of both the 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and Egypt's national agenda. Al-Mashad said that international cooperation plays a key role in development and in meeting the global goals which cover every aspect of life.
Right, welcome back, and back to you, Dr. Zainab. And as we've seen in the report, all the information that we've given here, let me take your reading to how focusing on the small, micro, and medium even enterprises for the growth of the economy can really help the way of business to become more sustainable and at the same time competitive.
Yes. We are in a time of crisis. Unfortunately, we have the crisis of Corona, and then we have the crisis now of the war between Russia and Ukraine. So we are in a situation that if you are talking about foreign direct investment and all of this money is to come to us from outside communities and outside investors, so I think it will be not possible for the time being. So you have to rely on the private sector, the local private sector. So what is the local private sector at the end? Part of it, we have, of course, these huge and large enterprises, and we have the medium enterprises, and we have the small, and also, once again, the micro enterprises. So once again, for the micro enterprises, we have a number that they are working in this type and these segments of projects, okay? And for the small also. So once the government is doing some sort of reform in regulations to help them to moving from being illegal into a legal.
No, that's the formal and the informal, and we're,
yes,
as the government is trying to attract the
yes,
informal economy into
this
the
is
formal.
This is part of the support, because once you go to a micro, small project and you ask them, you have to move from being a status of informal or illegal into a legal one. It will not be easy for them.
Actually, informal is not really illegal, because actually informal, I mean here the world or most of the big economies rely mostly on the informal sector. Most of the world economies includes or is composed of some more than 50% going from the informal sector, but we are trying really to attract them to the formal sector in a way that we can boost cooperation between the governmental authorities and, of course, definitely some of the entrepreneurs and that. But what I'm speaking here about is the support the government is really giving to the small and medium enterprises through, as you said, respectively, partners or world partners, or the funding that we have from the world partners, plus definitely the fund that is given by the government itself and its support for those. Because yes, we were speaking about micro business in very small ones, but also there are many of the medium and the small businesses here, and the government is very much interested in supporting them.
I will start to answer your questions piece by piece, okay?
Okay.
Number one, informal is illegal. I'll tell you why informal is not legal. Because informal sector is working and getting money without paying what should be paid to the government. It should be registered in the taxation system. If you are looking for our informal sector and also our manufacturers in the small and microfinance to grow, it's no way to grow without being registered in a formal way and also pay taxes, because this is what you should pay for the government, because you had made money, you had used the resources, and you have to pay for that. So why sometimes informal, it looks like it's illegal, because you are working outside the legal boundaries and the legal recognition of the government. The government doesn't see you. The government doesn't see your production. And even for that, the government you may not benefit from the help of the government, because you are not in this formal legal format. So the informal sector, this shouldn't be the case, but this is not the mistake of the persons and manufacturers themselves. Sometimes this is the mistake of the governments, because the governments, they have a problem in attracting this type of manufacturers who are working in illegal form to transform them into a legal one. You have to give them a lot of incentives, a lot of support, a lot of know-how.
As we did with those people who were in
information.
Ruwaiya, and we brought them to other areas. And
It should be, because it's no way for any manufacturer to grow if it is in the informal sector. You are in the informal sector as if the government doesn't see you, and as if that you will not benefit from any type of reform or any type of initiatives. But if you are formal, if you are legal now, you have the right to ask for whatever you would like to get.
this is how you
Support from
tell
the government.
those people.
Yes,
The-
support from the government, subsidies. We know that there is subsidies for exportation. So this is your right to work on this. If you are going to have a deduction in the taxation, so this is your right to ask for that. What about the government should do for this type of sector? And also mentioning the type of aid and also the partnership with different international agencies and aid agencies. First, for the government, and this is what the Egyptian government had done to a lot of this in this sector, is providing the infrastructure work through the industrial hubs, different industrial hubs. We have a lot of industrial hubs in different governorates, and this is a true support to this
And
sector.
complexes also. It's
Yes.
I mean, those are not big industries, so not. I mean, they don't need very big industrial hubs, but rather complexes as well.
As well,
Yes.
yes. So we have this type of industrial regions and industrial hubs and complexes. This is part of it. The other part that the government is supporting this sector is through the work of the infrastructure in roads and linkage between different governorates, and all the different types of reforms that the government had made, and all the incentives and facilitation that the government are trying to give to this sector. Incentives, you have to pay your taxes after a while. All of this to encourage this sector to work at the beginning. What is lacking and what is exactly that we do need still to be presented to this sector is the knowledge and information. They still need a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. The soft skills is needed. The soft skills is needed and needed a lot. If you are asking that we are going to, for example, to do a partnership with one of the partners in international institutions to support us to help this sector, but once again, there are limitations. It's our role as the government is to provide those who are in this sector with the sufficient and the needed information and the needed soft skills. The infrastructure is good part from the scene, but the other are the knowledge and the information that they do need. They still need a lot of support. The government also had made a lot of effort in the part of financing this sector. And we have a lot of initiatives had been, of course, implemented maybe 5-6 years ago. And we have the initiative of the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi related to financial inclusion and all of this. So this is, of course, a great effort. And also the national banks and different banks supporting these small and medium enterprises and giving them finance at a lower interest rate. Of course, this is before the crisis that we do have now, because we still have a lot of problems because of the crisis. But a lot of initiatives, a lot of work had been done. We are still lacking in 2 areas: the knowledge and information and the soft skills to this sector, plus the true marketing.
The knowledge and information in terms of what? The knowledge and information that should be given to those
Yes.
entrepreneurs and business, small business people. The knowledge that should we as buyers, not sellers, know about those products, kind of products, the knowledge that we need to propagate for or give to those who are not or do not have the ability to see such projects, and I'm speaking here locally and internationally as well. What kind of knowledge are we speaking about?
If you talk about the handicraft workers, for example, a knowledge of how to do a visibility study, a knowledge of to know where the demand...
That's for the sellers themselves or the entrepreneurs,
No,
the small sellers?
Where the demand is lying, or where the demand is, the knowledge about how to do the proper marketing, how to direct the finance and the financing of the project in a way that will be more efficient, how to market your product inside and outside Egypt. So some of these manufacturers they don't know what to do, and sometimes there are no other ways to know how to do it.
They just
so it depends on their experiences, and there are no trial and the trial and error. What we want to do, if there is a body that would give them the sufficient information, this will help a lot. Of course, we have the Social Fund or the Institute of the Small and Medium Enterprises is providing part of the services, but again, we have a lot of small and medium enterprises in different areas of Egypt, in different places. We're still lacking, and we still need a lot of bodies and institutions to work on that. If we want to have, once again, if we want to increase our GDP, if we want to improve the incomes of these people, of those who are working in the handicraft work, of those who are working on these small and micro projects, we have to focus on this area, in addition to what had been achieved before.
If we speak about exporting, because you said there is a crisis, and there is a world crisis, and we really need to support all the sides that can really contribute to our economy. That, I mean, it's a small business, but it can help.
Yes.
From your point of view, how to facilitate the the exports of such activities? How to help those people have the idea of exporting and exposing their products outside?
Number one, you start with these exhibitions and events. When they are just gathered in one place, or they are just gathered in exhibitions outside Egypt, for example. So you will help them eventually to know the different tastes and to try to apply it on their products. So once again, our start is the knowledge and information. The knowledge and information about what for exporting, the knowledge of and the information about the taste, the different taste for different nationalities, different markets, how to approach these international markets. This is what the government should do if the government would like to encourage those manufacturers and those handmade workers to produce outside Egypt. Exporting, it's not an easy job. You have a huge competition from different countries around the world.
You're
so
quite right.
If you are not prepared enough with the skills, with the knowledge, with the know-how, and with the right approach, you will not achieve what you want to achieve. So exportation, yes, it's an easy word that you are saying, but it entails a lot of work, a lot of support, and a lot of governmental support. All of these competitors worldwide competing with us in different sectors. Why they are competing with us? Because of that, their governments are there in the background, in the scene. They are in the scene supporting them to enter different markets. We want the Egyptian government to do the same rule, so we will be able to compete. Number one, to compete outside Egypt is the price and the quality. If you don't have good price, you are a failure. If you don't have a good quality, you are a failure. The government should give more incentives to those people, so the prices will be lower and the quality will be at the best possible.
Here, when we saw this report, Dr. Rania Al-Mashat discussed with some of the SMEs or their representatives, the Egyptian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency. This is an agency that has been created for this purpose of finding funds, developing the activities of such projects, and increase at the same time job opportunities. How do you find such an agency? How do you view the role of such an agency, and definitely many of the other agencies that could help, particularly within initiatives, big initiatives, presidential ones, like, for an instance, Decent Life?
Yes. This is a very good question, and I'll tell you something. All of this type of partnership that we do with these aid agencies, and especially when we talk about projects, because this type of aid, it's not about the International Monetary Fund. I mean, we have, as Egyptian government, we got an aid support for the macroeconomic performance and all of this. This is a criteria of aid, and we have another criteria of aid, that money that we do receive from an agency and going directly to certain projects, like supporting the small and medium enterprises or an infrastructure work in a certain governorate or certain village. So this type of aid that we are receiving for projects, it is very efficient. It is very, sometimes we are getting good amount of money. But sometimes when you receive this type of aid, you have a good plan and you have good work, but the implementation needs a lot of effort and a lot of work. You have to guarantee that the certain amount of money, that is X or double X, for example, reaches the certain village with the same number of double X and with this same type of efficiency. You have the knowledge is coming from you, from one of our aid partners. The aid agency is providing us with the know-how. We have to implement this. It's again, the role of the government is to get the money properly, to ensure that the money is distributed into certain projects properly, and you have to evaluate that, and also to ensure with the NGOs in these different areas of Egypt that the money is being used efficiently. So once again, it's another way to improve our societies through aid and through the proper and efficient use.
Indeed. But unfortunately, my time ran out, and I have to end it here. But we really had very fruitful discussion today about this issue. Dr. Zainab Nawar, Professor of Economics, we thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And dear viewers, many thanks for watching. Tomorrow will be another important debate with another colleague. Good night.